Hey, it's Brian Mudd from The Morning Rush, along with your local real estate pro, Lisa Treu from the Treu Group, and this is your weekly update, so you stay ahead of the curve and what's going on in local real estate. And we're going to start out talking about for sale by owner today because one of the very big considerations in today's real estate market is being properly positioned and maximizing what your home value is really worth. Because anytime you have a lot of volatility in pricing, that means a lot of margin for error as well. And we're going to get into some of the reasons why you need to be thinking about the Treus prior to listing a home, and certainly when you do it yourself. And so I want to remind you that you can reach out to the Treus at 561-972-8326, 972-8326. You can also check out guaranteedsale.com. That's guaranteedsale.com. And Lisa, you've shared stories about really bad mistakes people have made when they list on their own. Why do people travel down that path? And share with us a little bit about what can go wrong.
Well, I think there's really two sets of people that try to do it on their own. There's the first group, which makes complete sense in that they actually want to save the commission. Mm-hmm. And I get calls from people that have been trying it on their own, and they start to apologize. That's their first reaction of, I'm sorry, I've been trying it on my own. I don't blame them. I think if they could sell it for more money on their own, why wouldn't they?
Sure.
The reality is I know that they can't sell it for more money, and I hate to see anyone lose money. The second group of people that try to sell it on their own usually are people that have had a very bad experience. So they've been listed with an agent, didn't have success, or didn't ask the right questions on the front end to make sure the marketing plan and what they were going to do. And therefore, they had a bad experience. And so I hear this all the time. Well, I could do as good as that agent. And the reality is correct. They could do as good as that agent because that agent didn't actually sell it. And yet that's not the goal. The goal is to do better than that. Experience.
These are two very important distinctions here, and I think there are important takeaways on both. So let's drill down a little bit. On the first point, you mentioned that we can't do on our own what you can. Explain to us why that's the case.
Well, there's a couple of things. First of all, just from a marketing standpoint and an experience standpoint, we negotiate contracts truly every day. We are really good at it, and we're negotiating not just price, it's terms and making sure that it's a deal we can get to the closing table. This week, we have, the last couple of weeks, we've actually figured out how much money we've saved our clients when it comes to one little tiny area of our business, which is inspections and repairs. Mm-hmm. This year, we've saved our clients over $100,000.
That's significant just in catching items during the process after there's already a contract in place on a home.
Yes. And most agents would say to a seller, well, what's the big deal? Just make the repair. And a lot of times sellers, out of fear of losing the deal, will say, well, I'll just fix that. Well, that item may be $1,000 or $2,000. That's $1,000 that seller should keep in their pocket, and we want to help that seller do that. So, we do this on a day in, day out basis as far as negotiations. The other thing from a marketing standpoint, our goal is to expose it to the market in such a way that we can get more than one offer. Does it always happen? It doesn't, but that is our goal. And we are doing things like international marketing. We are doing things like video. We're doing social media the right way. We are looking at presenting the property perfect. It's having everything right. So I was at a property where it wasn't selling. The agent had it in the wrong subdivision, and the seller couldn't understand why no one was looking at it. Those kind of mistakes will honestly cost you thousands of dollars. And so we're going to be able to just take care of all those details that if you're not doing this day in and day out, you just don't, A, have access to, and B, you don't know what to do.
Yeah, a couple things come to mind. I've known doctors that had their own medical needs. They don't try to operate on themselves. They go to other doctors to get the job done. And if you're in a legal situation, you want to be representing yourself, even lawyers will have representation on their behalf. And there's a reason for it, because there are needs that are going to be met professionally. And with the amount of business that you do in a year, well over 100 properties, they're beyond just the things that we as amateurs are not going to know and the pitfalls that we could step into. You're also able to learn from everything you see and come across in the marketplace, so that on all those detail items as well, you know what the market is looking for, you know what is negotiable, what isn't, and you're going to be able to even save us on those items as well.
And we also feel the changes because, because we're doing so many transactions, we can feel the changes long before. It's like we have equipment to the ground and we can feel the tremblings of something to come. And, it's not realistic if you're doing, even a real estate agent who's in the business doing 4 or 5, 10 deals a year, they cannot feel the changes. They can see it after it's come. And the goal is to forecast, is to get ahead of things. And that is the lesson Steve and I have learned from the boom/bust that we had, is we realized by looking back and really studying it, we've gotten really good at forecasting.
Nationally, coming out of July, year-over-year price increases in real estate at 11.9%.
Mm-hmm.
The average new list price in August was 5.3%. That says that across the board, those that are listing by themselves, and even just the average real estate agent, it's exactly what you're talking about. They're behind the market. We just came off of a 12% price increase year over year, and new listing prices are only less than half of that in the next month.
Right.
That really, I mean, you talk about the amount of money you're leaving on the table at that point. It's huge.
It is, and I'll tell you the other thing that we're seeing is people are overpricing listings. The assumption is that everything is selling. It doesn't matter. No matter what you do, you can't fail. That's not the market we're in.
Like it's 2005 all over again.
Right.
You may name a price and maybe somebody will just take it.
Well, and here's the difference between 2005 and not all people did business in 2005, and even real estate agents. Not all real estate agents were in business since 2005. But one of the things that the difference between then and today is that the percentage of fall through rate. 30% of all deals are falling apart, period. That's a lot. I mean,
and when you're handling it on your own, I imagine that your chances of a deal falling through would escalate greatly.
Oh, you're over 50% of deals falling apart. I'm hearing horror stories where sellers are literally thinking they're closing and have their stuff on a moving van, and then they find out that because they can't ask the questions of the lender that we can ask, they're finding out that the buyer wasn't qualified. Now they have their stuff on moving trucks. It is the number one highest chance of having a lawsuit is when you're selling your own home, because honestly, there's just nobody that really is managing the transaction. And so it is really important to look at it in its totality. And I might even say, okay, it's worth all those risks. I mean, probably not, but it could be worth all those risks if you were going to make a bunch more money. But when I hear you're losing money and you're having all these risks, I don't understand what the upside is.
Okay, so let's pick up on that point. There are a couple numbers that are relevant to the overall amount that, on average, you are leaving on the table when you list for sale by owner. Tell us why the number is 18%.
Well, I think it's number one that there's just it's hard, and I can just relate to this because I have sold my own home and represented myself. And Steve, if he were here, would tell you I was his worst client, and I agree with him. I'm sure I was. It's hard to have perspective and be objective, because it's your home. You put in all your love, and you've seen your, many cases, you've raised your families there, or you've had, really happy times there. And so you're very attached, and it's hard to have perspective and what should you do. And so if I do this hundreds and hundreds of times a year and I'm having trouble with that, imagine if this is something you've done maybe 4 or 5, 6 times in your lifetime.
Yeah, it's back to the example of a doctor now working on himself or an attorney not representing himself in a legal situation.
Exactly.
You need that independent arbiter that's going to be using factual information, somebody who ideally who's exceptional at what they do to best position you.
So the other reason is that we just do things and have things others can't do and have. And this goes to both somebody trying to do it on their own as well as those that are maybe just doing this, and selling, 4 or 5 homes a year. We have a database of literally thousands, but I watch the active count. We have anywhere from 13 to 1,500 active buyers today that would buy a house if the right property came along on a amazing website that lets that buyer know when it comes on. And so because of those type of tools, which are very expensive and very innovative and very cutting edge, we just have opportunities that others don't have. And when something new comes, our team gets offered it first. And when there's a new strategy, our team knows about it first because we are having constant conversations with the best agents in the country, and we know what's working and what's not. And my belief is my seller's only happy when we're sitting at the closing table. So every decision I make about marketing is, will it sell their house?
And so the one number that we mentioned, the 18% that the average for sale by owner property that closes, saying to get through everything, it's going to cost you about 18% over the market average. That's bad enough. But then you and what your team does, an average of 7 to 10% more than the average real estate agent now. By the time we get done with going from considering listing for ourselves to hiring you, we've got a turnaround of 25 to nearly 30% more money that we would put in our pockets by hiring you.
It's crazy, right? The interesting thing too is it's not what the for sale by owner puts the price on. It's what they're closing. We're tracking what the ones that sell, the few that are successful in selling, the ones that actually sell, and comparing the actual sales numbers, because it's not about list price to list price. And this is the most challenging thing for people to understand. It's that you can ask anything you want. An agent can come in and tell you your home is worth anything that they want. The question is, what are they selling homes for? And our track record of what we're actually selling and closing homes for is record breaking. And half the time, our clients on the front end, I think a lot of times just they trust us, but they're kind of like, I don't see how that's going to happen. And yet I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear to get the listing and then beat you up month after month like a lot of agents.
Yes.
Because I think people deserve to know the truth up front. And I know I could probably get a few more listings out of it, but honestly, I know the clients that trust me and hire me, they respect the fact that I'm telling them the truth. And, I'd want that.
And I think the kind of the final point on this entire conversation about for sale by owner is summed up by what the founder of ForSaleByOwner.com did himself. Yeah,
so I find this kind of funny. It's like a chef that won't eat at their own kitchen. You kind of don't want to eat there either. Right. So it's very interesting because he found himself in a position where he needed to sell his property, and he said, okay, well, I've created this great company. Maybe I should try to sell it myself. And he did, attempted to, and couldn't sell it and couldn't sell it and couldn't sell it. So he researched and found a great agent, top agent in his area, and listed that property with the top agent. The agent said, you've underpriced your property, number one. And he actually sold it for more than he was asking.
Wow.
In record time, more than covered his commission.
Wow.
And I think it says a lot. If somebody who obviously has made a tremendous amount of wealth off of people trying to sell their own homes ultimately felt that a proper real estate agent could actually be better for him, which in the end result it was. then I think it's something to just consider before you go spending money for limited service companies to just throw it in the MLS. Because honestly, Brian, if it were that easy, there wouldn't be any homes in the MLS. It's not that simple.
And I think that is one of the huge areas that of lack of understanding that so many individuals have. If you're not a marketing expert and if you're not a professional in real estate, you might not realize what a difference having proper marketing and proper exposure actually means. You know, why is McDonald's McDonald's? It's not because they have the best hamburgers in the world. You know, it's they marketed, they created a convenient, fast product that hit the spot for a lot of people, and they marketed it extremely well, and they have throughout the course of time. You know, if you were going to find the best of it, maybe they have the best fries. They might have an argument there, but otherwise, marketing is so important, and that really comes to mind when you mention that he couldn't sell his home at a lower price.
Right.
It obviously wasn't the price, and so often people think it's all about the price. It's about getting in front of the right people.
It's usually usually a property doesn't sell either because it's not properly marketed or it's not priced right or a combination of the two. And it's not always priced. Sometimes it is. I have given example after example where I have listed for the same exact price, sold it for exact same price, and another agent had it listed for 8 or 12 months. It's not about the price. It's about the fact that we marketed it. We found out what was great about that property and allowed it to shine. And it's that simple. And I'll tell you the other thing. When you hire the Treu Group, you are hiring Steve and I, and you're hiring a full buyer division, and you're hiring a contract to close division, and you're hiring a full marketing division. You are not hiring one person. I could not do this alone. Honestly, I have a lot of people that make me look really good. And you're hiring a whole team of people. And the best news is that it's coming out of my investment in my business, not that you're paying for all these people. You're getting amazing service, better marketing than anybody else could offer you out there. And, that's part of it. You're getting us, and you're not just getting me. I mean, that might be great, but you're also getting a whole team of people that are like-minded and that are the best at what they do.
And from someone who sold 2 underwater properties with the Treus and was able to move up by, it does make a tremendous difference having that team of experts working on your behalf, whatever your consideration is. So reach out to them. Easy enough. 561-972-8326. 972-8326. Lisa, you had some properties you wanted to share with us as well.
I do. I have a coming soon property. Nobody has seen it. It's exceptionally amazing. It's in Palm Beach Country Estates. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, has a 2-car garage plus a detached another 2-car garage, has a pool, really amazing condition, brand new carpet, brand new paint, ready for you to move in. The owner will entertain offers between $350,000 and $375,000. If you've been looking in Palm Beach Country Estates, you need to call and get your name on the list because this will sell quickly, and will have multiple offers. I'm confident of it. The next property is on the direct intercoastal. It is a beautiful condo, amazing views, ocean views even, full service building. It's like living in a resort. This property is on the market for $325,000. It's a 2-bedroom split design, move-in condition, newer building, just amazing. And my third deal is a 1-acre property in Lake Worth. It's minutes to the turnpike, really great community, amazing amenities. It is priced at its appraised value of $385,000. It's on the lake, has a pool, 3 bedrooms with a possible 4th, and again, on an acre in Lake Worth.
And the website, GuaranteedSale.com. Great resource for you to check out, GuaranteedSale.com. Remember, you can call the Treu 7 days a week about any of those properties. Buying, selling, just have questions. 561-972-8326. Remember to tune in to News Radio 1290 WJNO about 8:18 every Wednesday as Lisa Treu shares with you the midweek update. And as always, we'll be right here for you online.